I don't know what the purpose of this particular program is, but if there is a purpose behind this program, I think it should be let lost people find themselves through conversations.
I think the purpose of the program is the space of podcast is very saturated with the same people talking week to week. I think this is a cool experiment in like the same place every week and getting a sense of the place rather than a sense of just the hosts. And so the host is the Richardson.
I thought I saw you late last night in Brooklyn,
I feel like I'm like back where I kind of began a little bit.
And I think that's what this place brings me to. It's like, I come here and then I know I can't tell if this is a red flag for myself. Like, if I hear too much, and
Dude, we come here
I think it's getting to that point where it's like, damn, maybe we are here too much. But
Is it too much?
Yeah, like, not even like I should be spending my time here, like somewhere else, like finding a cooler, newer place. But I spend a lot of money here and I drink a lot here. I think it's just a summer thing, but I still feel like, at one point I was here 8 days in a row, just playing pool with my boys. It felt like vacation. It felt like I was in like whatever the best grade of summer was for you. And
Do you get the vibe this place is kind of haunted sometimes?
I don't know. Haunted? No.
I've been in here a few nights, and I literally have been like looking around. Well, first of all, the fact that the mirror in the back says Joe.
Oh, that was funny.
A ghost did that. I didn't fucking do that.
I didn't know that.
I find it just like the music's always the same.
No.
The architecture is.
People will be mad that you said that.
What do you mean?
It's not always like the same. It's the same, but it's not the same.
No, you're right.
Sometimes it is
Some
the
nights,
same.
yeah. Some nights it's salsa. Some nights, but it's never like, you know, Doja Cat, which I would leave his place if Doja Cat came on one.
Come on,
I
bro.
would,
Come on. You don't like Doja Cat at all?
I would leave. No, there's no shot. Like, I would go to like Alligator for that.
No, I mean, yeah, it would have to be the right context for this place. Like, if they just switched up on a dime, it'd be like. But if I was like, yo, Josh, put on.
No, dude,
Doja.
I'm just telling you. The night I was in here at like 3 a.m, I was like hanging out with Kevin, and I don't want to say what happened there, you know, because. But the atmosphere in the place when the lights were shut off, and it almost felt like I still heard the music going a little bit. Like it feels like there's kind of like a vibe that exists in the walls here, and I don't know what it is, but like I think this like it's kind of rare to have a place that's like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just not as exposed to other bars, but like the layout, the design, the mood with the lighting, it's always just so like nostalgia. You know, nostalgia.
I think the vibe or the whatever the word, the ambiance of the place.
We're such like Gen Z people. Like, yo, it's vibey. It's like nostalgia.
Yeah, it's giving nostalgia, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's the real word.
Yeah. That's how you actually do it. No, but at some point, this bar is not going to be the same bar that it is right now. Like, there will be something that happens, whether it's like some of us move away or some of the bartenders take on their own other opportunities, or like new people like start coming here, and at some point it's not going to be the same bar, and I feel like that's why I come so much. So like this is only here for another 2 years maybe, or 6 months.
There's something about. I agree with you. I do agree with you. I find that there's something that's very. Like, we cultivated something here.
Yeah, I really do feel like we built something. I don't know.
No, we did. Yeah. It's therapeutic when I come here. And I think obviously a big factor is pool. Like, if there wasn't a pool table here, I think it would change some of our draw, for sure. But we went to Twins. We've been to other pool places, and I didn't feel drawn at all to those places.
You can't play pool at Alligator 90% of the time. Nightshade, I don't vibe. But the drift, I like the drift. I like being at the drift.
I like the drift, but it smells like someone like just blew out a bathroom like the entire time.
It did smell like that. But sometimes, do you ever wish we came here and didn't play pool? Like we just sat up here and talked like this?
No, we never have.
No? So why? like I'm enjoying. This is a different context for us because we are almost exclusively playing pool.
Yeah.
And
I'm
now-
already like itching.
Yeah, you're like, do you guys mind if we just?
No.
But you know what I'm saying though. Like, do you ever wish there was more of a motivation to just sit down and step away from pool for a night? Because I feel like when we hang out with our friends, we're almost basically competing in pool every single time, and we rarely just sit down and do something like this.
Well, in fairness to
Maybe that's me and you.
in fairness to like who I'm sitting in front of,
Yeah.
there's no one else I'd rather like sit down and talk with for hours because we do this as friends no matter what. Problem is that when we come here, it's rarely just you and I. Like someone just gets incorporated, and then like we're always kind of on the go. You know, I mean, I feel like that's kind of just our natural state right now, where it's hard to sit down. Not that we don't enjoy that, not that we don't do that. It's just that
I definitely do enjoy
you know,
it.
we definitely do it, and I enjoy it too. Like when we were at Alex's the other day, that was such an amazing time. You know, one, the garden.
Right, remember you just look.
Oh, look, what?
Alex is kind of just describing his garden. He's like, here's a fig tree. Here's like, can you believe? Look at this squash.
I'm like,
The Yaz grew. And I just see Joe like looking, like no one's looking at him. Besides, like Alex is not paying attention to him. Joe just smiling like a kid in a fucking candy store.
well, dude,
So proud looking. I'm just
No, that's
like the Alex.
dude, I was actually really proud of him.
Yeah.
I felt like he achieved something that like I haven't achieved. Where I'm like, you actually created like an abode, like an ideal place where you go and it's your home. Like no fancy luxury building. It's like something that like to me, if I saw it on Street Easy, I may have passed over.
I looked at it on Street Easy today to see what it looks like, to see if I would like it. And it does. You should look at it. You should look at it.
That exact apartment?
Their apartment. I looked it up on Street Easy today.
Listen, when I was in the market, dude, I was looking at apartments similar to that, private backyard, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be nice, but I'm like, I'm gonna be working too much. I go into the city every single day, like, why would I'm never gonna be able to enjoy this? And when he was talking about how like, oh, I paid rent, I don't wanna be here, I'm like, dude, no, you made it. Like, you made a real thing here. Like, this is a home. Like, I'm just renting in a place that's like, I'll be out of here maybe in a little bit. Like, I'm like, no, you should stay here.
Yeah.
Like, you have a whole garden. Like you have your dogs and your cats and you're exploring. I mean, like, it feels like you're not in the city anymore, which is like, I almost feel like what a lot of us are pushing for too, where it's like, I love the city, I love being here, but I also do fantasize about the day when something clicks where I'm like, it's time to go back to that backyard garden. It's time to get out of the city. I do dream about that still.
I'm gonna go two Sazeracs. Sazeracs? Is it Saz or Saz? That's what I was afraid of. That's what I was afraid of.
Hey. What's up? I can't believe that day went like this so far. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I'm just so not surprised that I'm here again. And I'm just like, I feel like we're just hanging out.
But this is an extension of like my apartment.
Yeah, no,
I feel
like,
a
and these
bar
guys
in
are in
the
my
city kind of
house right
serves
now.
as an extension of my home.
That's so funny.
Here are my roommates, and
Yeah.
here's our drama,
And Steph.
cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for Chris for introducing us to this drink as well. I mean, God, how many times did I come here and never order this, which makes no sense to me.
I mean, I just didn't order because I didn't know what the fuck it was. Oh, I wish I knew what was in this even to describe it. This is Sazerac. There's, oh God, this is bad.
You know what? Like people would be like, oh, there's like
Cube of sugar.
Sure.
There's some bitters. I know there's absinthe that you do at the end, and then there's normally Sazerac rye, but they don't use Sazerac here. And then there's you light it on fire or something.
You're forgetting the biggest ingredient.
It's heart.
I don't know.
I think it's
Love. I'll take your cookies. Name of love.
Did Josh just leave?
I don't know. Josh.
Was he here or you just texted
Josh
him?
was here.
Was he pissed that he was not talking right now?
No, Josh was, dude, I see Josh just walking around the neighborhood, like, on a mission. Like, he's just, like, going. And I'm like, hey, he's like, oh, hey. I'm like, what's up? He's like, I'm going. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. Like, he's always doing something. Like, I don't know. I think like a great bartender is like someone that has lived so many lives and has crystallized that all into like the persona of like the wise, well-lived, interesting, like can tap into the emotions very well, and can also like turn off the brain and get stupid with you. Like, you wanna do a shot? Let's do a shot. You know, like against all reason. Like why would anyone technically want to do a shot? Like in theory, like why? Like it's like it's not like why would no?
Why would a bartender like economically though?
When you're working, no, think about it. They're working.
Yeah.
When you're on the job, imagine you're at work right now. I mean, maybe they used to do this back in like, you know, Michael Lewis books or something, like, right? Where it's like, oh, Solomon Brothers, like, oh, like strippers and
big swinging dicks.
That's kind of cool, honestly, like that day at the training floor. But like, how does it make any sense to just be like, I'm gonna rip a shot, but do my job? Like, it only makes sense in one context, I think. Well,
You're a
maybe
pool player.
others. Maybe others. I want to go there.
Yeah. I know what you're saying though.
Yeah. That's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I have a question for you. It's kind of tied in a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's your obligation as a privileged, like, American who doesn't grow up in a war-torn country, who's had a very good lifestyle for the most part, do you think it's your and you're educated, right? Do you think it's your obligation to have to know what's going on in other parts of the world?
Yes and no.
Okay.
This is the worst answer ever. But no, like I feel.
It's a lawyerly answer, by the way.
What's that quote? It's. God damn.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Life's like kind of like imagine a box with full of chocolate in it, right? It's you never know what you're gonna get. No. I think it's Geoffrey Graham said that like at the national level, I am a libertarian. At the state level, I'm a conservative. At the county level, I'm Republican. At the family and friends level, I am a socialist. So I think like the scale you're talking about like matters. Like so like I feel more of an obligation to be. If one of my friends is distressed, I do feel obligated. If I see garbage on the street in my neighborhood, that's kind of basically it. It ends right there. Like there are certain.
You're not picking it up.
I mean, you should see, you know, fuck you. But yeah, and then, but also like part of the question you're asking makes me think that, yeah, you said we really have jobs, we're educated, but I don't think the space that we're in, or like our mind is like, we're not oriented towards helping the world. Like I will pay my taxes, I'll try not to break the law, but it's not like my forte to be focused on those things. Now, is it wrong of me to do that? I think there's a very good argument that yes. The Peter Singer argument for utilitarian. Do you see someone drowning in the pool in a lake? Do you like step in with your $100 shoes to save them? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, now what if your $100 was just $100 you had to give to malaria tents? Would you still do it? And it's like there's something changes, and so no, I don't personally.
I'm with you. I agree. In a short form response, I agree with you because I think the more you know about what goes on in the world, the more you are distracted from what in front of you is what you should really be focused on. Now, I'm not saying that what goes on in, let's say, Malaysia with a genocide, or let's say what goes on in Africa with like Boko Haram, or let's say what goes on in Europe with the oil and gas crisis, or what goes on anywhere. It all matters, but to a degree, because if I was an uneducated person who grew up in a different era where there wasn't mass public education and I was just like kind of born into a life where, you know what, like my dad and my grandfather started this business and I work in it and I'm a county clerk, is that person a worse person from a moral and ethical point of view than me because of the fact that they weren't like, oh, why am I going to my public library to read what's going on overseas? Like, it's just like the product of the time we live in, where it's like we have to feel like we're responsible for tuning in to what's going on and having an opinion about it. And I don't think that we have the ability to have an opinion about everything. Like, there's
there's no way to. There's no way to have an opinion about everything.
Wait.
There's no way to have an opinion about everything.
Yeah, no,
like, partially because you can't know everything, partially because like even if you could have all the information, you wouldn't have enough time in the world to understand it all accurately. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. Am I supposed to understand what the fuck Ukraine and Russia are doing? I don't know. But I think that like the main point of the question is kind of like, at some point there is a time where you should feel obligated to do something, and there's clearly a case where there's no one will harm you for not feeling obligated to step up and do something. And so like what, now what? I don't know.
You see Sydney Sweeney with like her dad wearing the Blue Lives
Just very,
Matter?
I definitely just looked at the pictures.
I'm not asking what you looked at specifically. I'm asking what the controversy around the picture. Are you
So
caught
I
up?
saw, no.
Okay. So Sydney Sweeney puts out this multiple photos of her mom's birthday celebration. And
Yeah, I saw some of those.
it's like kind of like a country yeehaw kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, I saw that.
And her dad was wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt. And you know,
kiss.
social media is just like, whoa, you can't, like, you have to like denounce your father, and you have to like, you know, cleave yourself from your family until you denounce this publicly. And she's like, whoa, like, relax. What are you talking about? And there's another thing about kind of woven into what we're saying here. It's like, listen, I'm my own person. My dad, and even me, so my dad, you know, my dad is a Republican, but in the Trump version of it, I'm a conservative person. I grew up Catholic, kind of see the world in my own prism. And, you know, but like, I'm not like gonna sit here and say like, oh, everything goes, you know, like, oh, there has to be lines drawn. The Sydney Sweeney phenomenon, which is like, you have to be on a battle line about something, about everything, on your phone. Like, on your phone though.
No, but
turn your phone down
I
and
don't
walk
think
outside.
I don't think I know anyone in the whole world that actually has that opinion. That like Sydney Sweeney should disavow her. Like, I know that there are people that are writing it on the things, but I don't know a single person. And I apparently live in one of the most liberal parts of the entire fucking world. But I guess all my friends are just the guys I've known my whole life. But whatever. I don't know anyone that I could possibly imagine to hold that opinion, you know? And so like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, why would you ever hold an opinion? Like, why would you ever say like, I can't enjoy a family occasion because my dad's wearing a shirt that represents something that like others disagree with? Maybe Sydney Sweeney does believe that shirt is a good shirt. I don't know. Who cares?
Well, imagine the extreme case of like Alex Jones saying that the Sandy Hook shooting did not happen, right? And like that feels like wrong enough, and you would want someone to disavow that. Like people feel like that's in the same realm as Sydney Sweeney not disavowing the fact that her family feels this way about politics. I think is absolutely fucking absurd.
So hold on.
I think it's fucking absurd.
Sydney Sweeney is the microcosm example that I'm looking at. Let's blow it out, right? So let's blow it out.
Back out right now.
So we've kind of spent some time in college, maybe talking a little bit about Jean Baudrillard, talking about like the Simulacrum a little bit. No,
I mean,
maybe.
I don't think I could tell you what that was.
Baudrillard's famous for, you know, basically introducing many different philosophical slants and heuristics that you can incorporate into debates about like societal movements and like the way we're progressing as a society. Along the way, we have to have something that measures, are we moving in a good way, a bad way, a weird way, you know? And he introduced the idea of a simulacrum, which is like, there's a prism that we're in that's manufactured by humans. It's not natural. And his was, first it was a radio. Well, it was always the book, which is what McLuhan first started with, right?
Yeah.
So the book, radio, art as well, obviously, radio and television. And where Baudrillard ended up was, it was the 24-hour news cycle version of television where he took the Gulf War and said, the Gulf War didn't happen. He wrote a whole book on it. That was the whole title of the book. The Gulf War didn't happen.
No way.
And
The Gulf War didn't happen.
It didn't happen. But his argument was that through the simulacrum thesis, it didn't happen because you weren't there. You watched it on television, you've seen all these photos of it, you feel this emotional response to it, but in your day-to-day life, you didn't actually get impacted at all. Whereas, if you're in World War II, you actually were either drafted, the women had to go work in factories to build our airplanes, young children have to basically, work jobs to avoid Liberty Bonds in World War I and World War II. The draft ends, Americans are removed from the equation. We're just like kind of here, and if you want to voluntarily join the military, then do that. But the Gulf War was this event that was televised, and then the Iraq War, for the second one, was even more of this like, oh my God, it didn't even happen, because you're literally watching a countdown on CNN from 10 to 1.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, it's not real in the sense of someone who's actually been there and really experienced it. And with the same thing with Sydney Sweeney, and this, I don't know a single person who ever feel that way. This is not real. We're getting so caught up on things that aren't real to us personally. It exists in this medium, the simulacrum.
Well, I think this is it. Your like real reaction to this is a reaction to something that I think is not real. I don't think that the original reaction is real, but I think that people react to this unreal reaction so often and make these things real. Like no one believes this shit, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
What do you mean?
No one believes that I know. But maybe I'll preface it that way, or I will bound it that way. Like no one believes this thesis about Sydney Sweeney personally, right? And so, but I know you though, and I know you are reacting to this thesis that has come from the Sydney Sweeney thing. And I'm saying everyone that has an opinion, including myself, is like a negative version of, or like a take on other people's opinions. Like I'm like, this doesn't make any sense that you don't even believe this. Look how crazy this is. That's not my opinion. You know? Is that wrong? Is that you don't think that's right?
I don't know if I think that's right. Dude.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't think that's right, not that's incorrect. I just think that we're never truly getting to the bottom of things as people. And I feel like you and I, that one night, we had a conversation at 6 in the morning in front of Dunkin' Donuts in a smoke shop. Like, you and I are actively searching. We're actively searching for like the root. Like, what are we really talking about when we're talking about something, right?
Yeah.
Now, Sydney Sweeney, take any major pop culture or viral thing. Yeah, she's great. Because she's a Trump supporter. I like it.
That's not what I was going with, but hey.
Yeah, why not? Now, if you really zero things out and think about like, what are we really truly looking at?
Yeah.
So, someone had to tell the person who writes that comment that gets 1,000 retweets or more retweets on Twitter about that shirt represents something that you shouldn't like. Now, are you familiar with what's going on with Shia LaBeouf right now with this whole like conversion to Christianity, with Catholicism?
Only through like Dasha and Anna.
Okay. Dude,
I thought it was a joke though. I thought this was a joke.
Fascinating what he's doing.
That's so funny.
So you know a little bit about
movie,
it.
Like there's some movie.
So he's doing a movie where he's portraying Padre Pio.
Say it! You say Christ is Lord! Get out! Get out!
He converted to Catholicism.
Oh, wow.
And he sat down with Bishop Barron, who's a pretty prominent Catholic kind of personality.
Yeah.
You know, he has a podcast, Wars on Fire. He has a whole kind of economy built around him and his thought. Yeah. And he sat down with Shia, and they're sitting there, and they're kind of like talking. And he's talking about Latin Mass. Now, St. Cecilia, 2 blocks away, does the best Latin Mass I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And I know where you stand, but I brought a few people to Latin Mass who are Buddhists, who are atheists, and who are Jewish. And it's not like, hey, come see this. It's like, hey, I'm going. If you're not doing anything and you want to kind of like experience something, join.
Yeah. It's like the Richardson with no bar. Cheers to that.
Yeah, you have to sip.
I have to sip it. I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Whereas the Blue Lives Matter shirt is something that you have to be told what's the meaning behind it. Shia walked into a Latin Mass in preparation for Padre Pio, and he was blown away. But why? Why was he blown away, do you think?
Because one of two things. I think that possibly because like he was like investing in himself and his character who was this person, and like he's so good at being an actor that he became that person and liked who that was. Maybe. Or maybe he was just taken on, honestly, by the ideas of Catholicism, which I don't think is that different from...
Not the ideas of Catholicism. It's not about that.
What's your...
So, well, I'll tell you what he said, and I'll tell you what I got from it. So, Shia said, well, Bishop Barron asked him, what like enamored you about the Latin Mass? Like, you've spoken recently about it publicly. Like, what particularly about Latin Mass did you like so much? And he sits back, he's kind of like, sitting there. Because they're not trying to sell me a car. They're not trying to sell me anything. What I have to do is I have to buy into it, but if I'm invited, it's like this experience where they're doing it, not with any purpose to draw people in from society off the streets. It's like, listen, we're just doing it. We're just doing this. We've been doing this for centuries. And if you come in, you said no? Do you know what Latin Mass really is, dude?
No. So I guess this is coming from I don't know about it. But when I think about religion, when I think about like Christianity specifically, when I think about evangelizing, I think that's the most explicit version of trying to sell you something. But I think that at every level there is some attempt to like get something for you and someone else gets something for them. Honestly, saying that I hated how that sounded, I don't think that's true of like social. I don't think I'm trying to get anything from you right now. But
Matt, you honestly to me are, man, you really do touch on a part of my lost brotherly youth that I never had.
Yeah.
You touch on that, but also more on an intellectual plane. You really challenge me in a really healthy way because you're not, hold on, let me just light this quickly. See, I would consider you like classically liberal in a way where you have views on society that are progressive, but also you kind of find your own way in some mildly conservative views on in some things. Whereas I really do battle with trying to balance what feels in my gut to be the response that I want to say versus what cerebrally, what I should say, knowing who I'm with. And I feel with you, I could actually mute that and say what I want.
Yeah.
Which is something that I really need in my life.
Yeah.
And that's what a really good friend for me personally is, where you can kind of remove the bullshit and like, I'll love you for who you are, even if you're fucked up, even if you say something stupid. I'll fuck you. I fucking love you.
I'll fuck you. I mean, we'll fucking love you.
Freudian.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely learned that.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. Oh God, what a mess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the purpose of this particular program is, but if there is a purpose behind this program, I think it should be let lost people find themselves through conversations.
I think the purpose of the program is the space of podcast is very saturated with the same people talking week to week. I think this is a cool experiment in like the same place every week and getting a sense of the place rather than a sense of just the hosts. And so the host is the Richardson. The curators are, I wish I could remember their names now, but they're curating something around something different besides the people that are hosting it. Mauriciano.
I think.
And
I believe, I hope. Andrew, for sure.
Is it Andrew?
It's so sad because it's such a simple name to remember. Like Andrew. Okay, Andrew.
I got here as high as shit, so.
You were high as shit.
So that's like the tool of any theorizer about anything is there's the real world and then here's some ideas in the middle and those ideas explain what's going on. So like the analogy of the map and the territory. Like the territory is the world. and the map is the theory about it, right? And so there's no like imagine the map of Brooklyn is physics and then Brooklyn is the actual world. Like the goal of the map of Brooklyn is to become the same thing as Brooklyn in a way that the laws of physics aren't the same things as the physical world. Which is kind of why I like math, because it's not claiming to be about the real world, it's just claiming to be true given a set of axioms. And then physicists have the job of like communicating with mathematicians to use those assumptions to map onto the real world.
Is math in its own sense a pedantic, jargony type of insulated world, or is it at root? Or is it something that coexists that is not isolated from the real world? Like, does math need to be connected to something else in order to make sense? Can math exist on its own?
Math exists on its own, for sure. It can, and it does.
But Matt,
I'm not
I
a
have question
mathematician
though.
either.
I have a question though.
I know a little bit of math.
But like, okay, let's say I know 2 + 2 = 4, right? Let's say that I know that 7 times 7 is 49. What does that really mean outside of that context?
Well, what does it mean that the president of the United States is Joe Biden in this? Like, what does any kind of knowledge that you have mean?
No, but
outside of
it does mean something.
Okay.
Because to me, it means that there was a political calculus. I don't actually believe Joe Biden was the popular person.
Yeah. Well, let's. I want to like, what's the epistemically? How do you know something in the real world versus like how do I know that 2 + 2 is 4? Is that the question, or am I kind of missing it? Like,
One more time. I'm sorry.
so how do you know as a person like that these candles are lit like versus that 2 + 2 = 4? Is that? Are you asking about like what does it matter that 2 + 2 = 4?
So, okay, fair point. So I think what we've had these conversations in the past about like when you look at like a mathematical truth versus like what's considered to be a religious truth. The mathematical truth is more true in a way that a religious truth can be true because you can prove a mathematical truth. You can say that, well, 2 + 2 = 4, just as that candle's lit. But I can't prove to you. Am I off course?
No, you're good. I'm using Latin language to keep talking.
Oh, sure. I think it's like what's immediately observable to me is true. But true in truth to me has a dichotomy. Like truth is like, listen, man, do I have views on how like the world works? It's my truth. But what's true maybe, well no, that's not how it always works. If I put a match to this or a lighter to this and it lights, it's true. I'll do this every time and it should light.
I don't think that's a useful definition of what true is. So like, even that example, like, is it true that the sun will rise tomorrow? Is that true?
Sun will rise tomorrow.
Is it true that the sun will rise tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know that that's true?
How do I know it's true?
Yes, allow me to answer for you. We've seen it happen so many times. The theory of physics that predicts the motion of the celestial bodies. And we know that the sun will rise tomorrow, right? So now that's one kind of theory. And now imagine we have another kind of theory that has looked at all the past information about how prices of companies that are listed on the NASDAQ trade, right? Okay, well, I've said this to you before, but like now imagine it's the day before the stock market crash, so pick one. Is our model predict this thing happening? No. Does the turkey predict that it's going to get its head cut off on Thanksgiving? No, because it's been living there its whole life, taking in this information that this person comes out here is going to feed me food. And I think that at some level, every single thing that you know is like the turkey. You know? The sun is we have more information about the sun. But is it different? Like,
I don't think it is.
It's not. Okay, so now fucking what? Now what?
Touché, my friend.
And I don't know what's in
Are you out?
I'm out. Are you out?
One more?
You go to church without having anything to drink?
1 second.
I was just gonna come grab them.
You're good. We read Haley's mind.
Yeah.
So, cheers again. So I don't know if this is true or not, but I love it.
Yeah.
So Heidegger once said that the difference between a human and an animal is that when a human goes into a church and they're silent, and the congregation is all present in the moment, and the priest is leading a mass, the human would realize that, whoa, something's going on here. I have to be silent. Even if I am being loud at first, something in my mind will trigger that something's going on here. An animal, like a domesticated animal, would be like, and the whole time.
Yeah.
And you would be like, shut the fuck up. And, but I'm thinking about that. You didn't probably do a lot of church growing up, right? I mean, you weren't raised in so I've been in a lot of mass settings on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And the baby is going off.
Yeah.
And the baby won't stop.
Yeah.
And the mom's like, And the baby's like, ah, you know? And the dad's sitting there like, please get this kid out of here. So the mom takes the kid, goes outside, and the mass goes on. And the priest makes a light joke of it, like, oh, maybe the baby's like my homily. You know, everyone laughs, and it's fine. But why does the baby, is a baby something different than a human in a sense where like,
Yeah, obviously.
is a baby closer to the animal, like a dog, in the sense that the baby is to a human like you and I? Where like,
Well, it depends.
we have the
It depends.
capability.
It depends. Do you have the capability in real time right now? No. If you like let's pick a metric. Let's pick walking. Then if you use walking as a metric for who is more of a human, this is like your map is walking, right? You pick a variable of the real world. How do I classify these things? My map is walking. All right. So this baby walks and cries. I guess crying is a little bit human, but it doesn't walk. Okay. Well, this dog can grab me a beer if it's well trained, and it can walk around, and it shits not in its pants. Okay, well, let's see. What's more human? And that's like a crazy way of thinking about it. But like,
Wait,
the continuum of over time is like, which one's more human? Well, the one that's going to be more like a human, more and more each day.
all right. Well, I want to go even a little further than this.
Okay.
I told you to watch My Dinner with Andre. Have you seen that yet?
I have not seen it. I'm sorry.
God, man.
I haven't seen a movie in. It was the last movie I saw.
What's the last movie you've seen?
What's the last movie I saw? Jesus. Damn. What's the last movie I saw?
Come on, I'll tell you mine.
Tell me yours.
The Hustler, Paul Newman.
No, I haven't seen
God.
I haven't seen that.
You should definitely see. The next movie you should watch, The Hustler, Paul Newman, 1961.
What is it? N61 you said?
61.
What does that mean?
When it came out.
Oh, you said N61. I was like, is that like Nintendo 64, but like the 3 years earlier?
Yeah, no. So, premise quickly, because
61's prime, so.
it's, well, you know, I could be so wrong, but I think it's 61. The premise of the movie is us. Well, in some ways. So, Paul Newman is a hustler, right? Namesake, you know, being very titular about it. He's a guy that is kind of like a vagabond. Goes from city to city, figures it out, goes to a bar, makes some money, meets a woman, shacks up, and leaves. Goes to the next city. And you follow his life, but at a pivotal point where he meets this guy called Fats. Big guy. Whatever.
Fats.
Different era, right?
Facts?
Facts, yeah. He plays Fats at a bar called, I forgot what it's called. But he wants to show that he's the best pool player in America. He's traveled America. He's won in New York, he's won in Chicago, he's won in Florida, he's won in California. Now he wants to play with this guy, Fats, at this one bar that everyone says he hasn't lost a game in a decade. Actually longer than that, I think it's been 15 years in the movie they said. And he plays him, and he's sharking him. He's up $15,000 on him. And then his guy, let's say it's you sharking, because usually you shark over me. So you're sharking. No, seriously. So you're sharking, and I go to you, and I'm like, Matt, get off the table. You got it. And you're like, nope, not until Fats tells me I can't do it. So you look over at Fats, you go to turn to Fats, and you're like, is it game yet? And Fats sitting there like this. Nope. His guy pulls a little money out, $100 on the table. $100 on the table, I'll do it for you. You play. When you're up $15,000, maybe a little more in the movie, I don't know, but $15,000. By the end of the sequence, he's up to $100. That's it. He lost all his money. They're playing 24, 48 hours straight, playing. And in the night, he loses all his money. Paul Newman's character is kind of similar with us. I think you should really watch it because he's a young guy who's beyond his years.
Yeah.
He's prescient. He's a prescient person. He understands how to play pool at a level that someone 20 years his senior knows how to play.
Yeah.
He's wise beyond his years. He's skilled beyond his years. And he can't know when to stop, which is where an older fellow would know, say, hey, listen, it's time to stop.
Yeah.
It's a very moral movie.
That's a very so. Yeah, that is so math. You know what? It's so mathematical to me.
Okay.
That concept is the law of large numbers. Slightly backtracking, I was watching an interview with Magnus Carlsen. You know Magnus Carlsen.
Wait, didn't you sit down with
Lex.
Yes?
Yes.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Dude.
And so it's so good. And so he is no longer participating in the world, I forget what the Olympics of chess is, something like the World Championship, let's call it that. And he is not participating in it. And so like if he ever feels that there's a meaningful challenger, he will participate. But in general, if he does not feel as though he's the best in the world, and he does not have a meaningful opponent, he will not play. And so
The last World Championship sucked, by the way.
okay,
Did you get into that or no?
No, I didn't.
It was terrible.
Okay. Let me try
I
to
forgot who you played. I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, let me try to not lose the thread. It's something about chess, which doesn't help at all because chess is a metaphor for basically everything in your life.
Wow. You can't catch me on that.
Yeah, don't
I
shoot
told
that.
you earlier, shots don't make sense to me. So I appreciate that, but I'm gonna sip it.
Our friend Alex, like Joe and I guess you would say would have very classically good jobs. Joe better than I. And we were recently at my best friend from second grade, you could say that, and now Joe and him are their own best friends, which I fucking love. Cheers. And Alex definitely has the most, what is it? What am I looking for? He is just having the best apartment, not even close. I haven't even seen yours, but I know it's the vibes different. It's just different. It feels like a home. Alex has a home in the city.
To me, it feels unadulterated. It feels that he has created something that's unique to him. When I walked into his apartment, I said, why is this like so you? You walk into my place, yeah, sure, I have books places, and I have nice whiskey on the wall, and I have art up, but like, it's props.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
there,
that's a set. That feels like it's theirs.
It's just life. It's just life. And I find that, like, I do it out of it's more of a fashionable sense of taste, where I'm like, people come over to my place. I want them to feel like they're in a sense it's curated. Look at what I did in this corner. Look at the books I have laid out. Look at the books I have on the top shelf. Look at the whiskey I have in the top left corner. Whereas Alex is like, dude, I have a garden, have my tomatoes,
Yes,
have my fucking peppers,
Yeah.
enjoy my backyard, here's my cats, here's my dogs, here's my place.
So
and
this-
you just sit down and you're like, why don't I have this?
This is where the what is it? The narrative of like someone selling someone to someone else comes in. What are we buying that we appear to be in a better place? But am I happier at Alex's apartment or am I happier in my apartment? The story is, when I first moved here, he was looking for a job at a natural wine bar, and they asked him, "How is gin made?" Right, and he did not know the answer to that question. And 2 days later, after he told me he did not get the job, I said, "Alex, how is gin made?" And I remember that being almost like a crystallization of the types of people on the dimension of interest in learning things. And Alex was the person who, if he did not know something and it didn't interest him, he would not learn it. If we didn't know something in the context of an interview, we would make sure to learn that. And we felt righteous, in your own language there, to that, yeah, like you should be doing this. But after this time, it's crazy that Alex, he seems to be in a better place. You know?
So I do recognize this. No, I do recognize this. When I play chess, yes, you think a few moves ahead in every move. Yes, you know some theory. We know enough about a little bit of theory, a little bit. Not too much, but like a little bit. Where like, if I open in this way, I know the outcomes to a degree. In pool, it feels arbitrary more than chess. It really does.
Well, there's no book. There's no openings book about chess, about pool, because the amount of variables involved with the first break are so much more than the variables of the first legal move in a chess game. How many legal moves are there? 8, 9, 10. There are 10 legal moves.
Is that right?
10. There are 20 legal moves. Each pawn can move either 1 or 2 places. That's by itself 8 times 2 that's 16. And then each of the knights can go here or here. So that's 20 moves.
So there's 6 pawns?
8 pawns. 8 by 8 board.
So that's 16 possibilities, no?
Yes. And then each knight can move in 2 directions. Can go to 2 separate legal moves. So that's 20 moves.
20 possible moves.
And then the branches are insane, but like there's no way to even formulate how many legal moves there are in pool. Because the break is, I would venture to say, is new every single time.
8 pawns?
8 by 8 board, yeah.
You're positive?
100% positive.
Okay. I trust you.
Rook?
I trust you.
Knight, bishop, king, queen, and that's already 4, and then the queen splits in this on the 4.
Rook, knight, bishop, king,
whatever.
Isn't that-
Bishop, knight, rook.
Fuck. Dude, I'm so messed up. Yeah, you're right. It's 8. Pool to me is like tennis. No, seriously. Pool to me is like tennis, where people think, oh, it's like golf. No, listen. Tennis is a more insulated battle. Golf is a grand course where you can follow the track of the ball through the course and see the ball land on a pitch, and you're like, oh wow, it's a great shot. Tennis is an attack. You can't escape it. In there, you're right there. You can't escape that scene.
Yeah. What's the big difference between tennis and golf? What's the biggest difference?
The biggest difference?
Yeah. As like if you were to
Can I have a second on that? Because there's a lot of differences.
As
The
a
biggest.
fundamental difference between the sport of tennis and the sport of golf.
Terrain.
There's no defense in golf. You cannot defend yourself in a game of golf. And something about the defense makes.
Where did you come to that conclusion? Where did you get that from, motherfucker? That's so good. I hate you for that. That's
I don't
such a
know.
Good, that's so good. You killed that already?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm a bastard. Fuck you, Joe.
Man, I disagree. I actually disagree. I think that buyer and seller is semantics. I think that pool is winner and loser.
What is that? You saying buyers and sellers are semantics is semantics.
Do you find pool harder than chess?
Pool is harder on the physical dimension than chess is, and if you're playing someone good enough, it can be as hard. I don't know if as hard is really what I mean, but it could be also, there's some strategy to it. I find it more compelling.
No, understood.
I'd rather play, it's more fun than chess to me.
Sure, but that's, I don't want to ask that question. If you open up a pool table, chess table right now, I'll play very competitively right now. In pool, I'm not playing up the par. I'm not.
You're not playing the bar tonight after we finish this shit?
We absolutely are, and they're coming with us too.
Exactly.
I know we can't break the fourth wall here, but
I'm breaking the fourth wall as much as I fucking want. I don't give a shit about these guys.
But I'm just saying.
Off the 14.
doing kitchen, right?
Yeah. Fuck you, Joe.
He is great. Look at the way he moves like a dancer.
Yeah, right.
Good shot.
That stroke looks like he's playing a violin or something.
I'm not taking that scratch though.
Take.
unfortunately.
Yeah, you
I
shouldn't.
can't.
You
I'm
shouldn't.
going here
Yeah.
again.
You like that move, Joe?
Have to.
Classic Matt.
Everything in life is principle, my friend.
Joseph, you bastard. There he is. There he is. Come on, baby.
Man, God.
I don't even like this at
That
all.
last shot felt great. Oh, God. Nice shot. Matt, come on. Oh, yeah, yeah, I like that, I like that, I like that.
You like that, Joe? Piece of shit.
I do like that.
Fuck you. No way. Fuck you. Love you too, man.
Good game. Run it back?
I'm gonna run it back, yeah.